Gunfire ripped through the night, tracers painting deadly streaks across the Prague sky. John Talon Riley, a shadow against the cobblestone, sprinted across the square. Explosions rocked the ancient buildings, showering sparks and debris. His heart hammered against his ribs, each breath a shallow gasp. They'd promised extraction, promised backup. Now, silence met his frantic calls. Betrayal, cold and sharp, cut through the adrenaline haze. He ducked into an alleyway, the stench of stale beer and fear thick in the air. Pulling up the tactical display on his wristwatch, he cursed. No signal. He was alone, a ghost in a city closing in. Memories flickered. The mission briefing, the intel, all meticulously crafted lies. They'd set him up, made him the scapegoat, the fall guy. But why? He slammed his fist against the brick wall, pain lancing up his arm. Rage, raw and potent, fueled his next breath. They wanted him gone, silenced. They'd underestimated him. He would survive, he would find out why, and he would make them pay. The hunt was on, but this time, he was the predator. Talon disappeared into the labyrinthine streets of Prague, his movements swift and silent. He moved with the lethal grace of a phantom, years of training kicking in. Every instinct screamed at him to run, to disappear. But a cold fury burned in his gut. He wouldn't be their patsy. He would turn the tables, expose them for the snakes they were. He needed information, a way to contact his few remaining allies. His safe house, a nondescript apartment overlooking the Vltava River, was compromised. The thought sent a chill down his spine. They were one step ahead, anticipating his every move. He needed to disappear, become a ghost in the system. Accessing a secure server via a burner device, he initiated the Ghost Protocol, a contingency plan for catastrophic compromise. It was a long shot, a desperate gamble. But it was all he had left. The protocol would alert a select few, trusted contacts, sending a coded message for immediate extraction. Until then, he was on his own. A solitary hunter in a jungle of shadows. High above the bustling city, in a sterile room overlooking the Prague skyline, two figures watched the unfolding chaos on a wall of monitors. "He's on the move, Director!" A sharp-faced woman in a black pantsuit reported, her voice devoid of emotion. "Our operatives are in pursuit." Director Petrov, a bear of a man with steely eyes, grunted. "Make sure he doesn't escape. He knows too much." His gaze, cold and calculating, lingered on the screen displaying Talon's last known location. The agency cannot afford another scandal, another loose end. His training makes him a formidable adversary, the woman Agent Volkov cautioned. But we have eyes and ears everywhere. A cruel smile played on her lips. He can run, but he cannot hide. The hunt was far from over. It had just begun. Section 4. The Oracle's Insight. A coded message, a whisper in the digital wind, led Talon to a secluded bookstore nestled on a quiet street in the Old Town. The air inside was thick with the scent of aged paper and leather. He was met by a woman, her face etched with worry, her eyes holding a spark of defiance. This was Oracle, his handler's most trusted contact. A woman who moved in the shadows, weaving information into weapons. "They're calling it a rogue operation," she said, her voice barely a murmur. "A mission gone wrong. You're being painted as a traitor, Talon." Her words confirmed his worst fears. He was a pawn sacrificed in a game he didn't fully understand. But why? Oracle slid a data chip across the table. "This contains everything I could gather. Names, dates, locations. It's a deep rabbit hole, Talon. Be careful who you trust." Her words hung heavy in the air. The game was far bigger than he'd imagined. He was stepping into a hornet's nest, but he had no choice. He had to expose the truth, even if it was the last thing he did. Section 5. Pursuit through the Parisian Labyrinth. The data chip held a treasure trove of information, a trail leading to Paris, to a clandestine organization known as Cerberus. They were the puppet masters, pulling the strings, manipulating governments and intelligence agencies for their nefarious ends. Talon, now a phantom in the wind, slipped across borders, leaving behind a trail of false leads and red herrings. He surfaced in Paris, the city of lights, a glittering labyrinth of secrets and lies. He could feel the eyes on him, the invisible net drawing tighter. Each step was a calculated risk, every breath a victory. He was a hunted animal, but he refused to be their prey. A high-speed chase erupted through the heart of the city. Talon, behind the wheel of a commandeered motorcycle, navigated the narrow streets with precision, his pursuers hot on his tail. The roar of engines, the screech of tires, the adrenaline surging through his veins. It was a deadly ballet, a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Section 6. A wolf in sheep's clothing. The trail led to a luxurious chateau on the outskirts of Paris, a place of opulent facades and hidden agendas. It was there he encountered her, Anya Volkov, the Ice Queen from Prague, the one leading the hunt. But she wasn't what she seemed. A flicker of understanding passed between them, a shared enemy, a common goal. "They're playing us both, Talon," she said, her voice low and urgent. "Cerberus is the real enemy. They orchestrated everything." Her words were a revelation, confirming his suspicions. He was facing an enemy within an enemy, a tangled web of deceit and betrayal. An uneasy alliance formed, a temporary truce born of necessity. They needed each other, at least for now, to survive the coming storm. "The enemy of my enemy is my friend," the adage rang true. But trust was a fragile thing, easily broken. He knew she was playing her own game, but for now, their goals aligned.